Namaste. Seriously, you feel for that? You just as goofy as I am. Gotcha. Hello. I have, as I promised, got the items together that are my absolute must-haves. These are my absolute must-haves. I stated before in another video, hi, I'm Angela, the stylist with Living Well Beauty Supply. And I have been in the business for 30 years, and I promised on another video that I would share my top 5 must-haves for hair care. Now this is my secret, my method, my approach, things that I use to maintain the health of my clients' hair, and I have been very successful at doing it. So without further ado, I am going to go through the items. So number 5 on the list is cellophane. We must put cellophane on our hair. Why? Because I love it. Coats it so well, and it gives it a richness to it. It seals in the ends. It gives the hair shine, and it's like a protective layer that's not harsh at all, that you can add to the hair to just help it look and be healthier overall. And so cellophane, these are some popular brands that you can buy, livingwellbeautysupply.com. And basically I usually mixed many different brands. You pretty much have to do them like once a month because they wash out. But people who wear cellophane on their hair, the hair just feels better overall. It responds better. You don't have to use a lot of heat on it, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. Cellophane is a must have, whether you wear natural hair, pressed hair, relaxed hair. Especially if you have relaxed hair, you definitely want to make sure you have cellophane on your hair. I have used it for years as a maintenance product for my clients' hair, and it's been incredible. And product number 4 is a great flat iron. You gotta have a good quality iron. There are some brands out there that are not 100% ceramic and titanium. I don't want to start naming off names, but you know, Bogold and She and all those people. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have a quality flat iron. In this one, Living Well Beauty Supply new flat iron is absolutely incredible. It comes in a nice box such as this. It comes in 1 inch and it comes in 1/2 inch, which is the smaller one. I'll show you what that looks like. The iron is incredible, and it is 100% ceramic, and this is not the right size. It is an absolute must-have. Why? Because when you have it 100% ceramic and titanium, it means that the heat distribution in the iron distributes evenly from the front to the back. So it's almost impossible to burn your hair. You can't burn your hair. You can't burn it. You can't, well, you can overuse it if you're using it too much, but you can't overheat and burn the hair if you have it at the right temperature. And so this is the 1/2 inch one, which is really good for grabbing your roots, or just sealing your ends if you want your ends sealed. A good quality flat iron, particularly this iron, livingwellbeautysupply.com. One thing I love about this iron is as soon as you turn it on, as soon as you set your temperature, I mean, it heats up quickly. Like, it heats up quickly. So I'm going to show you real quick how well it does. It heats up. So this is hair that's pretty much naturally kinky, or it's been made to be naturally kinky, and it's meant to be straight. And so this iron, you see that already? That was a couple of seconds. Just goes through and it just smooths out that hair nicely. And when you can do this, you can put heat on your hair, but it doesn't have to be so much. and see the sheen that it brought out. And so one thing I love about this kinky hair and straightening it, even though this is not about the kinky hair, but it still has texture to it, so it doesn't have to be bone silky straight. So once again, the Living Well flat iron, absolute must have. Incredible. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Okay, it's a gorgeous iron, and it has an automatic shut off on there. Great for your hair. So number 5, cellophane. Why? Because it coats your hair well. It gives it body and fullness. It gives it depth. It gives it sheen. It's a protective layer that you can put on your ends. And when you have cellophane on your hair, you don't really have to use a whole lot of excess leave-in conditioners and all that type of stuff. And then a good flat iron. Very, very good flat iron. The next thing is a great mask. Or I'm going to combine these. They could be separate, but I'm going to combine them. Primarily a great mask. You want to have a great mask for your hair because our hair type, there are African Americans who have fine hair, thinner hair, and just pretty normal hair or mixed gray hair. And it may not require as deep of a product. But if you have coarse hair, kinky hair, I guess what you guys call type C. Now, I don't know what that is. 4C, whatever. It's called kinky, coarse. Your hair really needs to be fed. The hair fertilizer from the roots, which you can find on livingwellbeautysupply.com. And then this argan oil mask, which is what I'm getting ready to introduce, goes with this line. A good, deep mask on the hair. Once a week, 2 or 3 times a month. Absolutely incredible. If you have pretty normal hair, meaning you don't have a lot of excessive dryness or split ends or anything like that, then you could get away with once or twice a month. But when you combine it with a good line of products, so you have the mask and then you have a shampoo and a conditioner to go with it. This Amala line, I'm going to do a separate video about it. This line right here, found on livingwellbeautysupply.com, absolutely incredible. I love it, love it, love it, love it. It's a company in Canada. You can find it with me, livingwellbeautysupply.com. It's an argan oil based line, and I absolutely love it. There's 2 other argan oil lines that I have. I love, well, one, this one is an Argan Deluxe line that you can find. It has the argan oil drops, a great mask, a shampoo, and a conditioner. It's really good when you know a line is designated for a specific result for your hair. It's good to use the whole line. It's very hard to really tell if a line actually works well if you haven't actually used it. You use one product from this company and one from this company. You really don't know which one really is doing the work because you've combined them. When people put lines together, they give each product thought that complements the next product. So at least when you get started with it, it's fair to use the whole line first to really get a feel of the whole line and what it does. And then from there, if you pick out a product in that line that you like better, then you know. But there's no way to know. Then there's this macadamia line. I'm newer to the macadamia oil. When I find something that works well, I don't usually switch. It's very hard for me to try new things because if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, but this new macadamia line, I've used it now for about 4 or 5 months, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Same thing, wonderful kit, found on livingwellbeautysupply.com. There's a shampoo, conditioner, and argan oil. These drops alone can cost you $30. Just the macadamia oil drops. I said argan. The drops alone can cost you $30. And then a great mask. This kit, I'll tell you how much it costs. Absolutely incredible. So you want to use a good quality shampoo, conditioner, and a mask. Primarily a mask, because a mask is designed to penetrate your hair shaft a little bit deeper than your average conditioner. Most conditioners, if they're pretty normal, They're going to sit on top of your hair, soften that outer layer, and they're good, and they'll put some sheen on your ends, and they're pretty light, and you rinse them off well. A mask goes a little deeper, and so it gets down into that cortex level, which is the second level of your hair, particularly without heat. If you put it on with heat, it can actually get down into the medulla if you steam it. But for the most part, it deals with the top two layers, which is the cuticle and the cortex. So it's really, really good. However, if you have cellophane on your hair, you really only have to do a mask maybe like once a month, because your hair is just overall healthier. So, and I know that I'm addressing people who put heat on their hair, but it's for everybody. Sometimes when you're doing your twist outs, or if you wear your hair kinky and it's just freaking dry, like you just can't get it to soften. Even if you wear your hair kinky, we still want it to be soft. Like, we don't like when our hair feels hard and crunchy. It just doesn't feel good, and especially when you have products that can help with that. So my next one is an absolute must-have. All of my clients are required to eat this. Yes, I said eat this. It is a must-have. If you want healthy hair, these two ingredients, these two items are an absolute must-have. And what are they? Blueberries and spinach. Blueberries and spinach. I cannot tell you the level of success I have had when I have put my clients who may be experiencing some hair loss, the hair is not healthy, needed to grow quicker. These two combined together, I don't care how you eat it, drink it, juice it, cook it, whatever. Having this in your diet every day, if your hair is in really, really bad condition, you'll see it about 4 months. It's some other things that I would add to that if that is the case, but usually about 3-4 months, you start to see a huge turnaround in the overall health of your hair. You can use dark leafy greens and dark berries, right? They're all good for our bodies, they all work. But it's something special about blueberries and spinach that's just amazing for our hair. This is an absolute must-have, hands down. So, number 5 was a great cellophane for your hair. Number 4, a great flat iron for your hair. Number 3, a great mask and shampoo line for your hair. We're going down to number 2, and that is argan oil drops. Argan oil drops. Argan oil drops are like ganache on a chocolate cake. Like, I can't tell you, and honestly, I'm going to give you a secret. It's how I use the drops. It's not just the drops. Now, I'm talking about a good quality drop. This is a good quality argan oil drop that comes in this Amala line that I have. Very, very good quality. I'm going to show you just the way. Let me get this going here. It's just rich. It's so rich and thick, and it smells absolutely incredible. To keep from wasting, I'm going to go ahead and put on my little braids right here, because I am not wasting this. Yes. Oh my God, they smell absolutely amazing. Even just putting this on, I could just feel how it's on this synthetic hair, which, you know, this is not real on so many different levels. Okay. Anywho, I digress. Argan oil drop. Let me tell you how I use it. So you can use it on your hair dry, like say, you know, you've gotten your hair done, you've been pin curling it or flat iron or whatever, and about a week or so in, it's starting to feel a little stiff or a little dry. You take a few little drops, emulsify it in your hand, and then you're going to run it down to your ends, put some around your edges in your hair, then you pin curl it. It really just freshens your hair up. It's very light, but I use it as a leave-in conditioner. Okay, I've just given away my secret. I don't really use leave-in conditioners. This is all I use is argan oil drops. When I rinse my clients out, after I do a thorough rinse, I take a few drops, And depending on the texture of the hair, now if my client's hair is very fine, then I can't use them, because you don't want anything on the hair that'll contribute to it being way down, unless they're doing like a roller set or something. But I will take it and I'll just blot it around the hair, and then especially the ends. I'm going over those ends really well. I'm putting it in those ends really well, and I'm going to take it around the edges really well. In any part of the hair that's very dense and thick, I'll put it in those areas. And I'm telling you, it detangles easy, it blow dries nicely, it flat irons nicely, and it's very light. The hair still has a lot of body to it, a lot of sheen to it. I absolutely 100% love a quality argan oil. It may run you about a good $30-$40 a bottle, but this bottle right here can almost last you 6 months. If you're just using 1 or 2 drops at a time, like, you don't have to overuse it. Just using a couple of drops on a head of thick hair, you just really don't think you did anything. Like, you really don't feel like it's there. But it's there. If you ran it over your hair, you know, nicely and massaging it, it's there. Trust me. You don't have to always feel it. It's there. And over time, you'll just see that your hair just feels better. There's one other item. I actually will save it for another video I'm going to do with my daughter about hair nutrition. I'll come back to that. Now, if you can't afford a good quality argan oil for right now, but if you can't afford it, there is an alternative that's a little less expensive, a lot less expensive, that can tie you over until you can come back to a good quality oil, and that's a good polish drop. I use it the same. If you can do a good polish drop as your leave-in. Now, I know this is not the way that it's directed on the label. I don't even know how this one is. I haven't even read it because I've just used it for so long. I actually don't know what they say on the label, and I don't have my glasses on right now. But anyway, I use it as a leave-in. I use it as a detangler, especially like I have nieces. They all have wonderful kinky hair, and I'll take these drops and I'll put it on their hair, and I'll just detangle that hair. It brushes right through. I'll show you a quick clip of me doing that on another video. But a good quality argan oil, primarily polish drop, if you can't get the olive oil, must have for the overall health of your hair. And for today, my number one, and yes, I am absolutely biased, there are many amazing oils on the World Wide Web, in stores, amazing. But to this date, these 2 oils are hands down the best hot oil treatments I have ever used in my life, and yes, I created them. I have decided I am not going to mass produce them. I'm only going to produce small amounts at a time, and I'm going to keep them custom made because I don't want to give it up. Yes, 10 years. I created these oils 10 years ago, 2010. I kid you not, I have people who can testify to it. But I made these 2 oils 10 years ago. God gave me these 2 oils, and I'm not even being deep. Like, He literally did. I was really concerned about, I have a goddaughter who had some scalp issues. She was like allergic to the sun. My daughter had eczema. And I have other friends who had some really bad scalp issues, and I just couldn't figure out why I could not get to the bottom of it. It just didn't make sense to me. And God just started giving me ingredients, and it didn't make sense at first. And I'm like, oh my God, I put them together. This was the first one. This right here is my alpha. This is my first one. My baby. This is a Living Well Hair Care Signature Hot Oil. Absolutely, absolutely, hands down, one of the best. I'll say the best because I've used a lot of scalp treatments, especially for people who have severe dry scalp, psoriasis, eczema, scalp allergies, sun allergies, hands down. But this is a pre-wash hot oil treatment. I have a video. Check on my other videos of how to use this, how to apply it. I have a whole video on that, so check down below. I'll put the link for that down below. This one right here, I wanted to have another oil because this oil, the Signature Hot Oil Treatment, you have to rinse this out. You cannot leave this on. So this is a pre-wash hot oil treatment, and you have to wash it out because it's very, very thick, very, very rich, and you have to shake it up and mix all the good stuff that's in there. This right here, I kept getting asked about what to put on the hair after swimming. And so swimming, it can be pretty harsh on our hair. I'm trying to get some videos done for that. Anywho, it can be very harsh on our hair, very drying, the chlorine and all that. And so I wanted an oil that could be used as a hot oil treatment or a styling aid. So if you went swimming, or if your hair just feels really, really dry, or tends to get really, really dry, something you can put on it before you curl it, or when you pin curl it, or just if it's feeling dry, put it on your scalp. Like, you know, back in the day, in the 70s and the 80s, we used to grease our scalp, oil our scalp like once a week. Go back. If you do that with this one, some of my clients do it once a day, every other day. Some of my clients do it once a week. My clients that use this oil, and I will put some video clips down below just so you can see, or put them somewhere, just so you can see and hear from them. My daughter on her Instagram, Heirloomed RD on Instagram, posted she's been using this oil now, I think 3.5 months or so, because her edges came out. She just had a baby. And I'll set some pictures so you can see the pictures. I'll insert some pictures. So this oil, my rosemary lemon mint, this oil right here, and there's something in here that is killer, and I will never ever tell. I will never give it up. So I don't know how I'm gonna call it when I do the label, but I've been using this oil now for 10 years. I would say maybe 9 for this one, because I had this one for like the first year. These are my #1 products that I use on my clients' hair, and not so much hair, their scalp. Hair grows anyway. Yes, the diet matters, and stress matters a lot. Medication matters a lot. But hair grows anyway. Normal hair growth grows anyway. I think, you know, like I said before, I'm sorry for being redundant, but just, you know, for the sake of trying to sell some products, of course I want you to believe that this is going to make your hair grow. If you don't use any of those products, your hair is going to grow on its own anyway. It does. And so unless you have some major alopecia, your hair is going to grow anyway. What we can do though, is preserve your hair as it's growing, and we can encourage your hair as it's growing, and we can give your scalp an environment that breeds your hair growth. Meaning, once it comes out, it comes into a great environment, and it just allows it. It's like when we garden and we plant seeds in the garden, and so we can feed the soil, and it really, really can influence how green the leaves are when they come out. The seeds are going to grow anyway, and they may come right up and they may die, but they came up anyway. And so what we put down in the soil helps the leaves and the fruit or the vegetables that's coming up to be really nutritious, really deep, really dark, and depending on what color they are, it's just really rich. That's the same thing with a good quality hot oil treatment on your scalp, especially for the aging woman, that 37 to 60 age range, when your hair really starts to change a lot. Particularly when you get into your late 40s and 50s, you might start seeing thinning. You want to make sure that you are oiling your scalp on a regular basis with a good quality oil. So I want to add a bonus. This is a bonus product. This is not in my top 5, but this is something that I thought was absolutely incredible. And it is a thermal heating cap, a cordless thermal heating cap. This right here, amazing. You know why? Because you could do heat or cold. You can put it in the microwave and heat it up, and for about, I think it says about 30 seconds to a minute, you can heat it up, and it'll stay warm on your hair for up to 20 minutes. You can heat your hair up. You can put your mask on, especially your pre-mask treatment and your oil treatment. You can put that on, put your plastic cap on, put this on, and go for a walk. You can literally go outside, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Go for a walk, and voila, come back, your hair is deep conditioned. Or the better part, you can freeze it, put it in the refrigerator. Let me tell you why it's so important to do ice treatments. We're always focused on heat, steaming, putting on the dryer, deep conditioning. All that stuff is a must-have. But think about it. When heat expands, it opens up, right? You also need something to contract it, to close it back up. So when you do cold water shampoos and cold water rinses, or do ice treatments on your scalp, especially if you are starting to notice a lot of hair shedding and hair loss, you want to start using cold as you can, ice cold water, and doing a cold pack on your hair. This cap right here, found on livingwellbeautysupply.com. I think it's about $21 or $22. It'll last you for a very, very, very long time. It's cordless, and you can do hot and cold treatments with it. So that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you soon.